I used to see like TikToks and Instagram reels and even videos of people being like, my budget set me free, my budgeting makes me so fun. And I'd be like, what? Like, how is that possible? I wasn't exactly budgeting. I was kind of caring about my finances, and was I having fun? Yes. But like, not really, because I was stressed all the time. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing amazing. I am so excited to talk to you guys today about, has budgeting made me boring? I've been teasing this video for a little while and I'm finally sitting down to film it. I really wanted to get this video up in time for the new year because I know that in 2024, a lot of us want to take charge of our finances, maybe spend less, save more, invest more, start a budget for the first time. And you may be worried, you may be wondering, is this going to make me boring? If I start, caring about my finances, and if I start my budgeting journey, am I going to become boring? And I wanted to share with you guys today my journey, as well as my reflections on that very question. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel and please give this video a thumbs up. Please like the video because it really does support my channel. If this is the first video of mine that you are watching, my name's Zoe, I'm 27. I've been making budgeting videos here on YouTube and just, spilling my ramblings about personal finance for like 3-4 years now. So I'm so happy that you guys are here. This video, I have a few talking points, but I'm really just going to be kind of speaking and rambling from the heart. So let's get cozy. Let's talk openly and honestly about money. I really hope you enjoy. I also realized the irony of me having a takeout coffee while we're talking about budgeting. I realize this irony. So has budgeting made me boring? I first want to talk about how the idea of this video came to be. This was never explicitly a reason for me not to start my budgeting journey. I never worried, oh my God, I'm going to become so boring. It was actually, I was taking a bath one day and I was just reflecting and I was thinking about, friends I used to hang out with and stuff I used to do in what I lovingly refer to as my past life, often, my pre-COVID life. And I was like, damn, I really don't do a lot of these things anymore. And I think a lot of it has to do with my budgeting journey, which made me ask myself the question, oh my gosh, have I become boring because of my budgeting journey? So I was reflecting on it and I've been reflecting on it for a very long time. I really like the answer and the conclusion that I have come to. I think everyone's answer is going to be different for themselves, but I hope that sharing my story and sharing my reflections can help you or inspire you or keep you motivated along your budgeting journey. So that being said, I want to start with my story. For anyone who's new or for my longtime viewers who just want to hear the story once again, it goes a little something like this. I was 22. I graduated from Oh my God. Sorry, I just got distracted by something out the window. In front of me, looking out the window, is this beautiful frozen lake, and a leaf just blew over the lake, but I thought it was a giant spider because I'm silly like that. Okay, where were we? So I had gotten a job at the Big Four. I knew nothing about budgeting, but I did have a lot of financial anxiety. I didn't even know that it was called financial anxiety at the time. I would just worry and cry and stress about money all the time. Since the beginning of university, maybe even a little bit before, I was constantly stressed about money. I've had a job since I was 15, which I think is a great thing, but I've always felt like there was never enough. I think a lot of it comes from the way that I was raised and, just kind of this passed down anxiety about money. At the time, you guys are gonna laugh at me, but I didn't even consider, I knew so little about budgeting that when I was looking for an apartment to move into and I was kind of making my budget, just on a random piece of paper, I didn't even consider income tax. My salary was $65,000, which is of course pre-tax, but I did all of my budgeting with the pre-tax number because I didn't know about income tax. I knew about it, but I didn't consider it in my budget. That's how little I knew. It's actually kind of hilarious how far I've come. So I got this apartment that I could afford, but it was, definitely on the expensive side of things. I was craving designer things. I was craving, expensive restaurants, 5 sets, cocktails, all of the new grad fancy lifestyle. I was craving all of those things, but I also had about $40,000 in student debt that I was owing. For a while, I kind of played with this balance of like enjoying life, paying off my debt. And it's when COVID hit in 2020 that I really started to get more serious and prioritize paying off my debt. It definitely helped that we were in COVID. There were a lot less activities to tempt me, but that's when I really got serious. And that's when I started making videos about personal finance. So basically I was living paycheck to paycheck on what is a very good salary, just trying to keep up with my friends. A lot of my friends and coworkers at the time came from kind of wealthier backgrounds. They didn't have student debt. A lot of them were like looking to buy condos, and I was constantly feeling like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? As I was paying off my debt, I was still kind of in denial about budgeting. I never wanted to have a strict budget not because I thought it would make me boring, but because I just thought I couldn't stick to it. I thought I was like, I don't want to do that. It doesn't sound interesting, like not interested. So I was kind of just dipping my toe in the world of personal finance, caring about my debt, being more careful with my purchases without having an explicit budget. Once I paid off my debt, I really entered what I would call like F it mode. I was shopping online like crazy, I don't even know. I was buying stuff for my home. Like I remember buying a $150 cactus for my apartment. Like why? Why? I went to the thrift store and spent $100 on a mural. Like this was like some niche thrift store in Montreal. The girl definitely saw that she could rip me off and like sold me some tchotchkes to put on the wall for $100 at the thrift store. Like that was me. I was just buying anything, tapping my card left, right, and center. And I was kind of in this loop of spending freely. I was like, I'm debt free. I could do whatever I want. And then at the end of the month, looking back at all my purchases and just being like, oh my God, I wasn't putting a lot of money into savings. I wasn't really focusing on the future, but I was stressing about the future. So that's very interesting, right? I'm stressed about the future. I'm stressed about money, but in the moment, I'm not really doing anything about it or anything to help me. The craziest part is I have all of those on camera in monthly money. In my monthly money playlist, I have, 12 per year basically of videos of me freaking out like that. At one point, I received a raise. I think I was making close to $75,000 a year. I also had YouTube going as a pretty good side hustle. I was making maybe an extra $800 to $1,000 a month off YouTube. Maybe it was a bit less, but when I got that raise, something inside of me clicked, and that's when I really went like balls to the wall, as they say. Like I was spending so much because that number gave me this false sense of security. What I've now learned is no number, no matter how high, maybe unless it's like $1 million a month and you can't keep up with that, like you're earning so much more than you can keep up with, no income is really gonna give you that stability if you just keep spending and you keep increasing your lifestyle. You're never gonna feel safe because you're just inflating your lifestyle every single time. So I was really, really in that vicious loop. I wasn't exactly budgeting. I was kind of caring about my finances, and was I having fun? Yes, but like, not really, because I was stressed all the time. Like that's not fun. And looking back, like that cactus, it died. It doesn't matter. It died. How much would I Uber Eats? Oh my gosh. Like, look, I still like buying clothes, and I still have a lot of clothes in my closet that hold good memories to me. So I've kind of discovered what I like to spend on, but Uber Eats is not one of those things, because where's the Uber Eats? Not in my belly anymore. When I started caring more about my finances, I also had to drop some friendships. I think it was a mix of kind of like me dropping them dropping me, because I had this one group of friends. It's so awkward to talk about. That's why I'm touching my hair, because it's awkward. I still wish them the best, and I still think so highly of them. But this group of friends, the way that they like to hang out was either in COVID, it was ordering from like an expensive restaurant on Uber Eats, and kind of post-COVID, it was going out. And I really, really don't like spending my money on dining out. It's just not my thing. And so I tried to kind of like, I'd go hang out with them, but I wouldn't participate in the takeout. I would eat before. But eventually, like, no one wants to hang out with you when you're like not really participating with the group. So I started saying no to events, and I also just started to not get invited as much. And yeah, I'm not really in that group anymore. When the world opened back up, I stopped going to the clubs. I stopped going to the restaurants. I didn't immerse myself back in my lifestyle that I had pre-COVID, because I just didn't want to spend money on it anymore. I was finally starting to realize what I like to spend on, what I didn't like to spend on. This is me kind of starting finally to get slowly into the budgeting game. And I started to feel a little bit jealous. And this is not like something that I'm proud of, but I started to feel jealous of people who I would see online or in my social circle who I felt like didn't need to budget. I was jealous of people who didn't have student loans and who got to start, their career and just start, either spending or building wealth right away, whereas I had to like fill up my hole, right? I was jealous of a lot of people, and I was kind of feeling sorry for myself that like I didn't have those experiences. Now, when I look back at how I felt those feelings, it's so silly because I was only looking up. And a lot of the times when we compare, we only look up, right? We're like, this person has more money than me, they must be happier than me. But we never look down and see, oh my gosh, some people, are struggling to put food on the table. They're struggling to feed their family. And like, I live in a beautiful apartment, and like, yes, I'm stressed about paying my rent, but I could have it so much worse. So rather than being grateful for everything I had, I was just jealous of others, which is such an ugly feeling. When I finally started to feel good about my money, it was in October 2022, which is when I discovered the cash envelopes method. These right here, my cash envelopes. If I'm being dramatic, I would tell you they saved my life, but they definitely changed my life. I was reached out to by a company called The Line. She was like, hey girl, I watch your videos. I think you'd love this. Can I please send you my cash envelopes products just to try out? I made a video, I tried them out, and I've never looked back. That was over a year ago. I use these cash envelopes every single day, every single month. I have not strayed from them. That was the first time I had a budget. And guess what? That was the first time I started having fun with money. I stopped stressing so much. Yes, I still stress a little bit. It's kind of, so ingrained in me, but I went from like a 100 to like a 50 stress. And budgeting was actually fun. I loved going to the ATM, counting out my cash. I loved making videos about it. I love going to the grocery store and flipping through my folio of cash envelopes. Here you go, I've got exact change. Like, it's fun for me. That was the first time that I had a budget and it was fun. I still look back on my previous life and wondered if I was boring. It was after I started cash envelopes that I had that revelation and asked myself that question. But I was having fun with budgeting, and I was feeling so much more secure in my life that it brought up the question, well, is security boring? And that's kind of where I now want to take this discussion. So I've told you guys, my backstory and some of the ugly feelings I used to have. I feel like me being crazy and me spending whatever I wanted, that would kind of by society, and let's call it by Instagram, like what would that look like on Instagram if we don't talk about the stress? It would look like I was having fun. It would look like I'm, having the time of my life. It wouldn't document me sitting at the restaurant getting the bill and being like in my head, it wouldn't document that. So yes, on Instagram, it would look like I was having fun. On Instagram, doing cash envelopes to some people looks like I'm a freak. They look like, what are you doing? I get comments from time to time being like, why are you bothering with this? Just to, save 25 cents? Like, but it's fun. Like, it maybe doesn't look fun on Instagram, but for me, it's fun. And I'm stable and I feel more secure. And that stability and that security on Instagram, maybe to others, it doesn't look like fun, but to me, it's kind of fun. The best comparison I can draw is to a relationship. When you're single and you're dating around and you're meeting all these people and you're maybe having little flings here and there and you're going on cool dates, that can look, and in certain moments, it can feel really, really exciting. When you're talking about it with your friends, it's like, oh, I met this guy and like, he texted me, and that rush, of the nerves of going to a first date and the rush when they, text you or call you the next day, picking out an outfit. It's all super thrilling. It's super exciting and it's kind of fun, but there's also that downside of like, oh my gosh, they didn't text me back. Oh my gosh, did they like me? Oh my God, like I got ghosted. This sucks. It's so volatile and it's so high and low. And that really mirrored my experience with budgeting and with spending, was all these highs and lows. Yes, I'm making great money. Oh, like my hydro bill was really high and I have no money left to put into my savings, right? Those highs and lows. Back to the relationship analogy, a stable relationship might look boring. You're coming home to the same person every night. You have your routines, you have your date night. Oh my gosh, you have to like plan date night now. But you come home every night to someone who loves you and you feel safe and you trust them. There's no drama. So it's not volatile. So then the question is volatility fun? Is that up and down fun? If I really think about it, and if I answer it for myself, no, it is not fun. It's exhausting, it's draining, it's stressful. It gives me anxiety, both the dating and the money one. I like being in a stable relationship. I like, having this person that I can call if I had a bad day, feeling happy every time he walks in the door. It's always the same person, and I don't care what I wear around him anymore. But that's more fun to me, that stability. So that's how I feel with my budgeting, is knowing how much I'm gonna spend, feeling confident when I say no to things, because I know that I'm gonna meet my $470 goal, and I'm gonna fill up my emergency fund, and I've paid off my car. Like, driving around in my paid off car makes me so happy. I actually think it's more fun than, like, you know, those nights maybe I would have gone to the club and bought a vodka soda for 20 bucks. I actually have so much more fun knowing my limits, and that sounds really weird. I think when I was young, I was like, oh, limits? Like, limits equals boring. And like, if you think about drinking, you know, the advice when it comes to drinking is like, just have one or two and like have fun. And when you're young, you're like, that's not fun. I want to get wasted. And then you're sick. You know, you had so much fun, but then you're sick. It's that volatility again, right? You're at the club, you're dancing, you're having the time of your life, and then your head's in the toilet, you're throwing up, and you're so hungover the next day. Right? And you're like, was that worth it? Maybe it was worth it, but you can't live like that forever. So knowing your limits with spending, it's that same kind of thing where you're like, okay, I'm gonna have to say no to this, but when the time comes for me to go on vacation and I'm gonna spend within my budget and I'm not gonna feel stressed, that feels so good, and you end up enjoying that vacation even more and therefore having more fun. I used to see like TikToks and Instagram reels and even videos of people being like, oh, my budget set me free, my budgeting makes me so fun. And I'd be like, what? Like, how is that possible? And I didn't believe them because I was trying to budget. I was trying and failing to budget. So I was like, this is not fun. It only became fun when I discovered the cash envelopes and found that method that works for me. So if you are trying to budget and you're not having fun with it, it probably means you still have some kinks that you need to iron out, and maybe you need to find a method that works better for you. I recommend trying out the cash envelopes. I have a video all about how to start. I also have my whole toolkit linked down below, so I'll link the video and the toolkit all below if you are feeling called to start. But whatever method it is for you, cash envelopes, some online system, you can keep trying until you find the fit that feels good. When you're on your budgeting journey, you are inevitably gonna have to say no to many things. You might have to say no to certain friend groups like I did. And when you look back on it, you can feel like you've cut so many things out of your life and that you've become boring. But I want to challenge you guys to look at all of the things you've now brought into your life. It's again, that looking up versus looking down. When I was sitting in the bath wondering if I'm, boring now, I wasn't considering the fact that I'm much older. I don't really drink anymore, so I don't really have any, desire to go to the club anymore. I don't really care about going to the restaurant anymore. I also have a dog now. Like, my life looks so different just outside of budgeting. There are many reasons why I don't do those things anymore. And I can look back fondly on them without criticizing my current self. I also can look at the new things that are in my life, like my dog, right? Oh, my dog prevents me from going to the club. Or, yay, I have a dog. She takes me outside. I get to go meet new people when I walk her. I get to see new places. She's so cute. She's so cuddly. I have unconditional love from her. Is that boring? No. Like, it's not boring. It's beautiful. It's fun. When you focus on the things you cut out, yeah, you're going to feel like you're missing out. You're going to feel like you're boring. But I want to challenge you guys to focus on the things that you've brought in. I feel like that's everything I have to say. I really expected this video to be a lot longer. Maybe it's the caffeine that just had me zooming right through, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I wanted to bring you guys some comfort in knowing that you can start a new budget today, you can start a new budget in the new year, you can start a new budget 6 months from now, and it will change your life. You might lose friends along the way. You're gonna make friends along the way. You're gonna pick up new hobbies, you're gonna drop certain things, but it doesn't make you boring. It means you're changing. And I forgot to say this actually, but taking care of future you, setting a stable and positive foundation for the rest of your life, I actually think that's one of the most exciting things you can do. To know that I'm gonna be comfortable in my old age. I'm going to be able to quit this job that I hate. I'm gonna be able to, give my children the upbringing that maybe I didn't have. I'm going to be able to give gifts to my friends that I've always wanted to give. I'm gonna be able to travel and see the world and see all these amazing things if I say no to certain things in the short term, if I implement this new budgeting system. That is all so fun and exciting. So I want you guys to have that positive outlook when it comes to it. If you have any questions, you can let me know in the comments. And let me know, do you think budgeting has made you boring? Do you think budgeting has made your friends boring? Let me know what you think on the topic in the comments. I'm going to stop talking now. I will see you all in my next video. I love you so much.